That's right, a back-to-back Sonic review. Can you tell I'm a fanboy to this series? Sonic is back in the driving seat for another crack at the kart racing genre. He has had a good track record, to be fair. Sonic Racing Transformed is one of my top 3 kart racing games in general. It did a lot of things right. The tracks had this dynamic flow to them, some changing completely by the final lap. Switching between land, sea and air was also a great addition, some tracks even letting you pick between vehicle types at some points. Speaking of tracks, they themselves were references to some of Sega's most iconic franchises, calling back to classics like Skies of Arcadia, Golden Axe, and, my personal favourite, Panzer Dragoon. Please play these games, they're all fantastic. The amount of characters that you can pick from was also mad. You had the usual characters like Sonic and his crew, Knight and Ai, but you also had classic characters like Ryu from Shenmue, Gideus Thunderhead from Golden Axe, I'm not going to talk about her, and on the PC version, you had Football Manager and Team Fortress 2 characters. And on top of all this, there was also a large selection of game modes to pick from. The single player was meaty with a full-on campaign as well as a Grand Prix mode, and it even had a full-on online mode. Heck, it was one of the few games that actually used the Wii U gamepad, letting people use it as a 5th player. Not even Mario Kart 8 let you do that. And the cherry on top is the game played like a dream. But when you've got the talented devs at Sumo Digital behind the wheel, that's to be expected. After all, they made Outrun 2 Coast to Coast, one of my favourite arcade-style racing games of all time. So overall, it was a fantastic package. So when I found out there was going to be a new Sonic Racing game, I was excited, but I did have some worries. Team Sonic Racing did come out between Transformed and this one, and calling that game underwhelming would be an understatement. It's not a bad game per se, but it lacked a lot of the things that made Transform so great. Gone were the transforming vehicles. Gone were the Sega cameos, this was a Sonic game only. On top of that, quite a fair few of the tracks were reused from the previous 2 racing games. And the single player story mode was extremely boring. So yeah, after playing that, I did have a few concerns. Thankfully, after playing both of the online betas and the full release myself now, I can confirm that these worries are unwarranted. Let's take a look at Sonic Racing Crossworlds. To start things off, I need to talk about the fact that Sumo Digital are not the ones making the game this time around. This is a Sega project through and through, which did take a lot of people off guard, since Sumo were usually Sega's go-to guys for making Sonic Racing games. That being said though, Sega brought their A-team for this. They have a long history with racing games, namely in the arcade scene with classics like Sega Rally and Daytona USA, with reportedly quite a lot of the team who focused mainly on the initial D titles working on this game. That's not even going into the console racing games like Sega GT. So, as a lifelong Sega fan, I am really happy to see that this level of racing game pedigree is still going strong. This game feels like it came straight out of the arcade in the best possible way. Turning feels great, the handling of each type of vehicle is fine-tuned enough so they all feel different, but none of them feel unwieldy. The sense of speed, when the dynamic camera is turned on, is great. Honestly, on the controls alone, the game feels really good to play. There hasn't been a point where I feel like I've lost control of the vehicle, or I didn't make a turn because of the game itself rather than just my own skill. Visually, it looks amazing as well. All of the tracks pop, each one looking fantastic, with some great callbacks like Metal Harbor, Sand Road, and there's even a track based on Sonic Superstars. The characters themselves all look great as well, each one having unique animations when you do a trick, and some even talk to other players as you drive past them. And the music, oh my god, the music, it's amazing. There are several songs that I've been playing on repeat, both remixes of older songs and some brand new ones made just for this game. It's an amazing soundtrack. My standout is the cyberspace level. The saxophone during the first lap is really damn good, but then you get to the final lap and Dropaholic kicks in, which is just my favourite song from Sonic Frontiers. So you bet when that kicked in, I was like... Extreme Gear makes a comeback from the Riders game, which I am very, very happy to see. I loved the Sonic Riders franchise, even though the learning curve was a bit more like a learning cliff at times. But if hoverboards are not your thing, you do have a selection of kart types. They each fall into different categories. You have speed, power, handling. All of the extreme gears fall under the boost type, and all of them can be edited with different parts. And these vehicles are callbacks in and of themselves. Hell, Eggman's car is just the first boss from Sonic 2. You can also slap stickers on a car which you've unlocked by playing the game, or by buying them, which can really help make the kart feel like your own. Imagine unlocking stickers and actually using them to decorate your car. Imagine that. After creating the machine of your dreams, you then get to pick what sad sap will be driving it. The character selection is very varied. You have new fan favourites like Sage, and some odd ones like Zaz. Seriously, why are you here? If you have any available, you can then pick what skin you want to use. Imagine how clunky it would be if every single skin was its own character slot. Moving on. But unlike Team Sonic Racing, the cast list isn't just limited to Sonic characters. Sega are promising free DLC that includes several characters from Sega's beloved franchises, including Ichiban from Yakuza, Joker from Persona, and thanks to a leaked image, Knights. Which, again, if you've seen my videos before, you know I freaking love Knights. And at this current moment in time, you have Hatsune Miku available. She even sings along to the music when you select her, it's really cool. There are some characters that are locked behind paid DLC though. If you buy the Deluxe Digital Edition or bought the Season Pass, you'll have access to the Sonic Prime characters. On top of this, you'll also have characters from Pac-Man, Mega Man, and SpongeBob SquarePants for some reason. Yeah, there are some odd inclusions in this, but let's face it, the Sonic Racing games have always had odd characters here and there. Heck, Sonic Racing Transformed had Wreck-It Ralph and Simons from the Yogg's cast for Christ's sake. On top of this, the Werehog is also locked behind pre-orders. So yeah, there are a lot of characters that are locked behind a paywall of sorts. And people have every right to be annoyed about this. There are a lot of games that do DLC, I'm not saying that Sega can't do that, but the amount of stuff that they are locking behind either pre-ordering the game, buying a digital deluxe edition or the season pass, it can get a bit much. Especially when you consider the fact that this isn't a budget game. This game is going for 60 quid or $70 in some places. So spending that money plus the additional costs for the extra content, it does add up. I didn't even talk about how the DLC characters will also get their own tracks. So if you want to see everything this game has to offer, you need to pay for everything. So with a price point that high, is there enough content to warrant the ask? Thankfully, the game is pretty stacked with content. You have a good single player mode, a large amount of tracks to pick from the get-go, and a good selection of Grand Prix to go through. That's not even going into things like time trials or unlocking things through the multiplayer mode. So let's take a look at the game itself. When you're playing a race, you'll come into contact with the game's main gimmick, the Crossworlds system. Simply put, the lap 2 of every race is a different track. The race lead gets to pick what route the party goes down. So if you're in the lead and you know that one of the two options given to you is a track that you're particularly good at, you can choose to go down that route. Alternatively, if you're not confident, you can go for the randomizer option and just pray that the randomizer picks a track that you're good at. After going through lap 2, lap 3 goes back to the original track. Although there are some slight differences. Metal Harbor, for example, the rocket would have taken off, so the track design's different. Some tracks will have pathways that have opened up, and others have warp rings that are dotted around the place so you can use them for a cheeky shortcut. So it keeps that dynamic track design from Transformed, just not as extreme. I personally love this idea. It helps keep races fresh, as you don't know where exactly you'll end up on the second lap. There are some race courses that can only be picked through the Crossworld gimmick. However, sometimes the Crossworld gimmick will take a traditional track instead. Either way, you could be driving a vehicle that's made for one type of track, only for somebody to pick a track that you're not good at, requiring you to think on your feet. It's a really fun idea. Along with this, you have the traditional items that you can expect in a kart racer. You have green boxing gloves that shoot across the track, shields to protect you from hazards, ooze which can block people's view, and this monster truck you can drive right after taking a beer. On top of this, there's also plenty of things to unlock, be it car parts or an unlockable supersonic. If you do time trials, like I said before, you will unlock music tracks that you can use to play at certain points of the race. If you don't like the lap 3 song for a certain track, for example, you can just use the jukebox to completely replace it with something else. Race Park have these rival teams that you race against to unlock additional car parts. You can even unlock skins for certain characters, although that can be a bit of a time sink. While racing, you get these tickets from doing things like collecting all the red star rings, being the one who picks where we go on the second lap, and what position you end up at the end of the race. You can use these tickets to buy more car parts, stickers, stuff like that, or you can give them to a character to raise your friendship level with them. After enough levels, you can get a new skin for that character. The thing is, you need to give them a lot, and I mean a lot of tickets before you can even get the skin. It can take several hours of grinding out tickets to even get these, so yeah, not ideal. I feel like this should be reduced, or at least give the player a second way to unlock them, because my god, the amount of tickets you need to grind is somewhere in the thousands. So really, everything that you unlock is a way for the player to express themselves. You can create your dream car, slap some stickers on it, change the paint. What kind of paint do you want? Do you want it to be matte or glossy? Do you want to show everybody how try-hard you are with these auras which cost 2,000 tickets? But another thing the player can edit which directly changes how you will play this game are gadgets. Simply put, the gadget panel can make or break a race depending on how you build it. You level it up while racing. Ideally, before you even think about going online, you should make it so you got all 6 slots available for you. And you get to pick what kind of gadget you want to go with. Some of these are fairly minor, mainly giving you minor stat increases, but others can completely change the way you play the game, giving you a full drift bar, making it so you get a speed boost by driving into people, or turning your car into a makeshift Beyblade. You can specialise in offense, or if you want to play it a bit more safe, specialise in defense. Or you could do what I do and put everything into drifting, because once you hit that 4th drift, nothing can touch you until that metallic effect goes away. I'm sure down the line some sweaty people will figure out the meta, but for now, it's really fun to mix and match and see what you can come up with. And I'm sure you'll find some unique playstyles when you go online in this game. You can also party up with your friends and play with them no matter what system they play this game on. It's on Steam, it's on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, heck, I'm sure once this game eventually meets smart fridges, you'll be able to play with those people if you really want to. That being said though, there is no split screen online, which is a bit disappointing. Locally, you have a bunch of options to pick through thanks to the race park area. You have standard modes like individual races, but you can also pick team-based modes. Examples of this would be a mode where you and your teammates have to try and hit the opponent team as many times as possible. There's also modes where you have extreme items on at all times. You can also pick between 3 teams or 2 teams. There are a lot of options available to you, and if you played the open beta, some of these modes might look familiar because they were what we were playing on during the Joker Festival mode, which hasn't seen a return yet. I'd imagine once every new character gets introduced, they'll get introduced alongside with this festival mode so people can get to grips with the player. This isn't confirmed, mind you, I am just rambling at this point. It's honestly just a random guess. Hi, Future Chaz here. Almost as if Sega knew I was about to wrap things up for this video, they announced the NIKKE Festival, which will be going on between October 2nd and October 5th. So if you want some NIKKE shaped unlockables, be sure to be online during that time. That's enough from me, back to the video. And yeah, I think that's everything. All in all, it's a very solid racing game. But the question that I have on my mind is, will this take over from Sonic Racing Transformed?
The answer is yes and no.
It does some things really damn well. Customization is fantastic, and the choices the player makes to make the machine feel their own puts it heads and shoulders above Transformed and even Mario Kart World. However, I am a Sega fanboy through and through. I love this game a lot. But because of the fact that I grew up with the blue blur, I have to accept that there's going to be some bias in my opinion. I will get a lot of enjoyment through things like the dialogue between characters during rival races, the tracks being callbacks to previous games in the franchise, and the fact that some of these vehicles are callbacks in and of themselves. But if you're not a fan of Sega or Sonic or anything to do with this franchise's history, first of all, why would you buy this? And secondly, I can't say for certain if you will get the same amount of enjoyment out of this game that I would. The gameplay is solid. Sega brought their A-team when making this. But if the window dressing for that said game isn't something that you would like, I can't say, oh, you should definitely get this, if that makes sense. On top of this, it's a very pricey ask. Like I said before, not only do you have the price of the base game, but you also have a bunch of DLC should you want to buy it. Compare this with, let's face it, the main competition, Mario Kart World. There's no DLC. So far, this video could age very poorly very quickly. For me though, Sonic's new racing endeavour is a fantastic return to form, and one that I can see myself going back to a lot more times than Mario Kart World. You may disagree, and that's fine. There are so many kart races out now that everyone has their own different favourite, and it's great to see. I love this genre of game so much. The pure, chaotic fun, the fact that anybody can technically pick up and play. It's a great party genre of game. And with Kirby Air Riders coming out in November, I'm also looking forward to see how the discussion around this game changes around that release date. What about you? Did you get this game? Do you enjoy it? Where does it stack up against your current top 3 kart races? I would love to know. For me, my current top 3 is Racing Transformed, this one, and Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers. The only reason Ring Racers isn't in the lead is because I hate that bloody bumper still. Remove it. Hey there, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you want to stick around for more videos, please consider subscribing. It does help me out a lot and you get to see when the next video is uploaded. But in the meantime, if you want something to tide you over until the next video is out, I did make a video talking about the Sega Sonic arcade game. It's a fun, quirky game that I do recommend you check out if you can. Alternatively, if you want a video on another Sonic racing game, I did review Dr. Robotnik's Ring Races last year. It's a fantastic labour of love from the fans, and it's definitely something I recommend you check out. Other than that, I am on Twitter and Blue Sky, so if you've got any questions or any video recommendations that you want me to look into, please give me a follow, message me on there. And yeah, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.